I'm out here, my grandparents' house on the outside, where I had to come to open up the box that finally arrived. It's been sitting outside for enough time to potentially not contain coronavirus. But, is anybody here? Is this working? Is anybody in here yet? I don't know if this is working. Bueller. Is your Wi-Fi working? Oh, there we go. Hi, guys. Okay.
Am I standing in front
It's
of
hard. So, I am grateful that we have some gloves. We've been giving them rotation. We don't go out a lot. And so we don't use them a lot, so we let them sit outside in the sun for several days. When I do, basically, I'm the only one who uses them. So, I've got my plastic surgical gloves here. We received a package. It's been highly anticipated. I am not is it unboxing? Is that what we call it?
I don't know.
Deboxing?
Yeah.
Opening up boxes? I don't know. But I thought it was liberating. This arrived, and I'm, we have to figure out how to open our boxes, leave them outside. You want them to wait. So it is unboxing. Thanks, guys. So we wanted to, wait for a while outside so there's no coronavirus. But even so, we're being extra cautious. We have some hand sanitizer. We're doing it outside so my mom's not around it. But I'm going to open up this box because this has been a highly anticipated item in our house. George, can I have the knife cutters? George is my cousin. You may remember him from the cooking video. What the hell is this? This is like, you carry this with you? When do you need this?
I've opened at least 3 boxes with that today.
Today?
Today.
Well, it's because everybody's ordering
things.
In this house. All right, that's just because people are ordering things. I don't know how to use a knife. I'm afraid I'm going to hurt myself. So help us. What do people talk about when they're unboxing? I want to talk about politics. On our show that comes out on YouTube on Monday, which we taped today, we have a really good show. We talk about the DNC and how they decided to move the Democratic, the convention from July to August because...
Lord, this is the most nervous I've ever been in my life.
Oh, also, wait, what are you guys drinking? It's happy hour here in Arizona. I am drinking, once again, hard kombucha, but this time it's Alosa hard kombucha. Is that what I drank last time?
I don't know.
I think so. And we're eating some lentil curls from Trader Joe's and some garlic hummus. Hair in the face, bugs in the face. Okay, so on the show this week, we are gonna have, it's gonna be a really good show because Michael Brooks joins us. Micah Utricht from Jacobin has a new book out, and David Moore talks about the DNC, and specifically about the DNC, how there's a law firm called Perkins Coie that is just, they have a monopoly on the DNC and like all of the organizations, and they're representing some really bad guys and bad actors. It's a fascinating interview if you want to hear about that. But speaking of the DNC, they need to be flushed down the toilet. With all of the toilet paper that you've been using. And the reason, wait for it. The reason why they need to be flushed down the toilet is Tom Perez, not only has he sent you guys out to the polls to go vote during a pandemic when they said that groups should not be convening of over 10 people. That was a couple of weeks ago. Don't forget, he sent people out in Arizona, where I am right now, Florida, where people were partying on the beach. And then a couple of days later, all these poll workers tested positive for COVID because Tom Perez was like, no, let's trust the states to decide whether or not people should show up at the polls. The same states that, are Republican states. Oh yeah, let's just trust the states to decide. The Republican states, DeSantis to decide whether or not it's safe. Or Governor Ducey in Arizona to decide whether or not it's safe for Democrats to turn out at their Democratic primaries. Yeah, that's a great idea, says Tom Perez. Great idea. Great idea. So now per the advice of Joe Biden, they have decided to delay the convention from July until August. Because, we're all going to be okay then. That's fine. Buy your tickets now. Because that's what you have to do when you go to a Democratic convention. You have to buy your tickets in advance. You have to buy your hotel rooms in advance. Organizations plan huge events around it. They put down payments at hotels and different centers to do big rallies. They do so much work to prepare for the events around the Democratic National Convention. And a lot of the DNC members and delegates, they're running. And so they're it's already expensive to go to these events. And you know, freaking Tom Perez, see what I did there? I didn't want to swear. He has the nerve to not cancel a convention or make it digital, but he decides to move it to August, which is, of course, a major risk, a health risk to so many Democrats. And, you know, it's extremely, if we're sitting here, and I'm going to talk about this on the show, I don't want to give it all away, but if we're sitting here criticizing Donald Trump for not being responsible, you know, Democrats have to look to Tom Perez as well. I mean, this is homicidal, as some people said, when he told people to go to the polls, to decide to put on an extraordinary event. It is generally theatrical. It is meant for the Democrats to make their case against the Republicans, but to ignore science, to ignore the CDC, to ignore what the numbers that are coming out right now saying that we are not going to be a situation in August where it's safe for us to convene, for all of us to convene, let alone the platform committees and all the other committees having to meet. It's I mean, I think he needs to resign. And I think Joe Biden needs to be held accountable too for pushing for the convention. Also, Joe Biden has such influence and sway in the Democratic Party that he urged, but Tom Perez didn't go to the DNC members who are there as voting members to decide, and they're outraged. So on that note, I think that the Democratic National Committee chair needs to be flushed down the toilet. And thank God I have what took 3 weeks to show up, a freshwater bidet. Normally it is, what, 20 bucks?
Saltwater.
Saltwater. By the time you're done with it, it's salty. What?
That was pretty good.
How much was this? 20 bucks or normally?
I don't know, you bought it.
It was upcharged, but how much was yours?
I bought mine at Costco. It was like 29 bucks or something like that.
Yours is 20. I think mine was like 40. So we have a bidet here.
Mine was on sale.
I'm so proud of this. We waited for this. We jumped in on the bidet trend right at the beginning, and we had to wait forever to get it. There should be 3 bidets in here. So we have them in all parts. Oh, 2-pack. 2 bidets. I think I was thinking about getting another one. So we have it for the bathrooms here. So my mom and I, we were quarantined at the time, so we needed one each. But let's see, how does this bidet look? Is this how the unpackaging shows work?
I think so. I think you have to show everything. You have to talk about the bubble wrap, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's a little bit too much bubble wrap for hands that are covered in plastic. All right, we got a cord here. You're gonna be putting this together for us, George.
Cord.
And a spare part.
Oh, jeez.
You know, I thought it was gonna be more like the Japanese bidets.
Stay tuned for her installation video.
Stay tuned for our installation video, George says. Whoops! I am so excited about this. A bidet. I mean, even when I'm in Europe, I don't use bidets. And Greeks don't use bidets in Europe. They should, though.
You hear that, Greece?
The plumbing in Greece on the islands is not great. If you didn't know that, it's not great. So this is the bidet. I think what happens is you put this in the edge of the toilet seat, maybe? And then this thing probably comes out, and you just like put it in there a little bit. It's not like the fancy Toto. We don't have the money for that.
No.
It's not the Toto. They're not massaging you. They're not singing you songs. You know, if you've ever used a Toto, I've been to restaurants where they've had it, and actually a couple people have it at their house because, like, let's not pay rent, let's pay for a Toto. That's not in my budget. My budget is this one. And I think they're sold out now, so you probably can't get them. So we are now in the 1%. I just want everybody to know. If you'd like to go to the bathroom, you can come to my house. Just clean up after yourself, wear gloves, masks, and disinfect. Yeah, this is it. You take a shower. Everyone's asking very disgusting questions. You do it everywhere else in the world, they do.
There's a
has
really,
modern
there's
day
like a really like popular one.
What's the popular one, George?
I don't know. But,
George, you want to come on camera?
I don't know if we want to say it because maybe they'll ask you to sponsor it.
Wait, are they gonna? Do I get a sponsorship from the?
No, it's the.
Oh my God! The name of this bidet is called the Fufu. Fufu. This is great. This is better than the cooking video. A bidet that's called the Fufu bidet.
What is it?
Freshwater bidet. What if it's not freshwater? If it's saltwater? It saves trees and toilet paper. Well, technically, both, right? No batteries or electricity needed. Easy to install, no special tools. That's the language I speak. Because The minute that things got testy with our new set was when it involved special tools. I don't know how to do special tools. Am I in Tucson? Yes, I'm in Tucson. I'm at my grandparents' house. You know, it's, we also put together a new patio set out here because the patio set was rusted. It'd been out here for a long time. Been very handy. I didn't know how handy I was. I thought I was just good at looking at FEC reports and complaining about Democrats, but turns out I know how to use a couple tools. I don't know the difference between the screwdrivers. I just know that one has a cross and one is straight, and I know when to use them.
Oh my God.
My cousin's face, if you could only see it right now. But I'm good, I can use it. Who needs to know the name? You're so fancy. You have to know the name of the screwdriver. I know how to use it. I'm a handy person.
Do you?
I did get my results back from the coronavirus test. I am okay. My mom is okay, which is what I was more concerned about. She had to exit the household for the first time in like 20 days. Phillips, that's it. That's the straight one, or is that the cross one? Cross. Thanks, George. My cousin decided to leave because he's embarrassed. No, he had a phone call. So yeah, very excited about the bidet. I will show you what the bidet looks like when it's all set up, and you know, maybe that'll be another video. But really upset at the Democrats. I think everybody, if you know who your county chair is, if you're state party chair, I think you should definitely complain to them and say it is irresponsible, it is dangerous for the Democratic Party to be putting on the convention in August. You know, they really should find some other way. But the problem here is, like all things in the Democratic Party, it ends with money. There are a lot of consulting contracts. There's a lot of money to be made putting on the Democratic convention, but you know, you're risking not just delegates and activists who show up, but you're risking the lives of people in the media. I mean, 2 CNN hosts already have tested positive for corona, not to mention how many members of the crew. You know, they're not gonna send their cameras out. And if that's what the Democratic National Convention is it's just theater, then they're not really thinking this through. It's very, 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 very dangerous. How much did the bidet cost? I think normally it's like $30, but there were 2 in here, and I think we paid 50, if I'm correct, because it's a 2-pack, 2-in-1. Definitely worth looking into. It's called the Fufu Freshwater Bidet. Am I near Chomsky? Yeah, actually, fun fact, I was supposed to interview Dr. Chomsky just 2 or 3 weeks ago in Tucson at the University of Arizona, but this crisis hit, and we're gonna have to figure out how to do it. We might do it over Skype, I don't know. I'm gonna reach out and figure out now that things have settled a little bit. But yeah, he teaches at the University of Arizona. I wish I had him as a teacher when I was there, but unfortunately that was 15 years earlier. So I'm very, very, very excited. Yes, protect Chomsky at all costs. We are definitely concerned about that. There's so many leaders and artists and activists of that generation who we really need to protect and take care of, not to mention, you know, basically anybody on the left. Bear down. Twitch account. Yeah, I'm going to be starting Twitch soon. George just walked away. He's helping me figure out all this stuff. We're trying to figure out how to set everything up in a very short period of time. Not to mention, I don't know if you guys know, but independent media has been really hurting in the last couple of weeks. The viewers are down. I think people are watching a lot of cable news right now, and I don't know if they're demonetizing or not on other platforms but YouTube. But we're seeing a downtick for all independent media. We were really surging. We were getting about 25,000 subscriptions a month, and it just kind of flatlined. So, you know, at a time when we're trying to reassess how we do the show, build a studio, we've only been up for 2 months. So, you know, please, 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 yeah, click that like button, subscribe, share. That's the key. You know, George and I are trying to figure out how to put clips up on Twitter and all the other platforms so that more folks can learn about the show. We have, this show in particular is solid. I'm really excited about because we have long form interviews that we put out on Patreon, and we're going to be doing a lot more with podcasting too. So definitely we need to get the word out. We have lost some subscriptions on Patreon because the economy is really rough right now. But you know, if you can contribute what you may have done maybe once a day as a cold brew cost. I mean, we start at $5 and we go all the way up to like $60 a month. But I mean, I'm saving all this money on cold brew. I didn't realize how much money I spent on coffee, and I'm now diverting those funds to other folks, other friends of mine who are in independent media. And if you have the room to do so, if your job is a little bit more secure than others, you know, send tips to your favorite servers who are not serving right now, and definitely reach out to people in independent media and share those who may not be attached to, who may not have been around for a long time. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So definitely hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And if you can become a patron at patreon.com/The Nomiki Show, please do so. But my cousin George is like the media guru, so he's helping me work through this all. We have decided to use Casa de grandparents, not giving their names, as the Silicon Valley of independent media. Because I built a studio, and you know, this is now, hey, if you're an independent media host in Tucson, Arizona, and you are not positive with COVID, come on by. You can film during the hours that I'm not filming. It's like the new hub. So we've got the business smarty pants with George here. Me, all I do is, you know, read articles and bitch. And now I'm just gonna do it on camera. So with that, happy hour is adjourned. We opened up the bidet. Cheap, worth it. Don't have to buy toilet paper. As long as we have water and power, we're good. I have interviewed Professor Harvey K. Check it out. I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago. Definitely check him out. It was a good interview about FDR and what Bernie Sanders needs to do. He is up there, I don't know, 2 weeks ago? Not even? It was during COVID, so not that far. Yeah, it's not that far back. But check out that interview. He's probably going to come back on soon because I just received another copy of another book that he's written. He's just sending me all of his books. I'm like, I can't keep up. I actually don't have a lot of downtime while I'm here. Am I still on the Unity Reform Commission for the DNC? No, it's been over. We passed the reforms. They were much watered down by the Rules Committee that Tom Perez appointed. That was watered down and voted on a year and a half ago, in August of 2018. So all of those rules applied to this presidential election, where we reduced the size of number of superdelegates. I would have eliminated them entirely. Just want to put that on the record. It's on the voting record. What was I unboxing? A bidet. How appropriate for the moment, right? Yeah, so URC is over, the Unity Reform Commission. How can we organize to get Medicare for All passed right now? I think it's very unclear. We don't even know. I mean, Congress is not going to be in session over the summer. We have to be pressuring our lawmakers at the local level. We have to be exposing their hypocrisy when they say they're for Medicare for All, but then they support Joe Biden. Guess what? That doesn't work. So we need to take it to another phase. You can't say you're for something and then support this candidate in a primary that is not for those things. Solidarity needs to be it needs to be used in the greater electoral sense, not just in the movement side, but really in all electoral politics on the left. So I am going to go have dinner now. General strike's huge. Rent strike, I think especially the rent strike's gonna be valuable after they're basically banning evictions and giving you, I think, 3 months, depending on the state, but 3 months or so. But you're still gonna owe that money. So you're unemployed, you can't pay for your rent for 3 months. What, in 3 months, you might be evicted and then you have to pay who knows how much money. If you live in New York, if you're in a one bedroom, definitely over $2,000 a month. So that's, $6,000, $7,000 maybe. Really depends on your circumstances. But, that stimulus it's barely a dent. And most people live in cities. So, all these folks who went at me that were libertarians saying, oh, that's $1,200, what are you using for your groceries? Because I tweeted out that $1,200 barely covers groceries and basic utilities. Key factor, and basic utilities. They said, well, what are you doing? Are you buying Whole Foods? No. I live in New York. Groceries are more expensive. Utilities are definitely expensive. And groceries are expensive. I mean, that's what it costs. If you have a family, just here in Tucson, the groceries are way cheaper than New York. We've definitely spent over $1,000 a month on food. We're stocking up, but not like egregiously, but we wanted to make sure we had enough food for 2 weeks to quarantine, and that's what food costs. You know, New York, Google that. New York has expensive groceries. So it's not a lot for most people, and most people do live in cities now. So this whole like, oh, well, you live in a city. Well, so do most Americans, and definitely most young people. And cities are expensive, so we have to take that into consideration, and it's not even half my rent. So we're all going to be in a lot of trouble soon. A rent strike is something that we should consider, not just now, but later when they're going to be evicting people, because that's when you know, you really gotta hone in on this stuff. All right. Taking off my gloves so I can touch my screen. The trick with the gloves, right? Take off with a glove and then take off the other one with a glove. You don't want to touch it with your fingers. And then what I do is I know I flipped it inside out, but I try to keep it on straight. I leave it outside on the patio so it doesn't blow away for a couple of days. Yeah, and I have some hand sanitizer here. I don't use hand sanitizer in the house, but because I'm out here, I'm talking to you guys. All right, I'm gonna go figure out how to install this bidet after I eat dinner. Hope you are all safe and healthy, and we will be in touch soon. New show. What are my thoughts on why kind of hatred towards poor people? And because we have industries out there that occupy the DNC, that occupy the media space, and they advertise on cable news. They pay off the Democrats. They're the ones who are on the Rules Committee, deciding what the rules of the Democratic Party primary are going to be, and that's it. I mean, it's they choose to kill the left, ignore poor people, and you know, we're in a really shitty situation. So definitely check out the show. Comes out on Patreon this weekend, and on Monday it'll be up, the full show for this week. It's a good show. If you haven't, somebody mentioned Cuomo, definitely check out my opening on Cuomo. It is on our YouTube page now. Share it. Definitely want to share that. I want to get the word out that Cuomo is not our friend. He's a very bad guy. So much so that a budget just passed yesterday that was the most dangerous budget, full of austerity measures. Don't listen to any of these cures. So anybody who's posting those cures, they are not the cure for coronavirus. Only a vaccine will be. So, you know, stay inside. Dangerous times. George says hi. He's on the phone. Take care, everybody. I have to go eat some food.